guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd do a bit of a 6-month update on my Apple Music stats. We're pretty much halfway through the year and I really wish I'd done this last year, so I'm doing it this year. We're halfway through the year, so I'm gonna have a little look through my Apple Music stats just to see what it is that I've been listening to the most this year and completely expose myself, because there is no hiding from your Apple Music or Spotify statistics. And I also thought that this would be interesting to look back on when it comes to the end of the year and I'm filming my end of year kind of roundup. I'd like to see what has actually changed throughout the year. So this might not be a super long video, I just want to document what it is that I've been listening to recently. So earlier today I went on my Apple Music replay and the first thing it showed me was my minutes milestone. And I found out that I hit 25,000 minutes of listening back in April, which is honestly kind of insane. At the time I'm filming this, it's the end of June, so that will obviously be a lot higher now. But if I carry on going the way I'm going, that means I will have listened to, potentially could have listened to 100,000 minutes of music by the end of the year, which actually probably says a lot about me as a person. Maybe I'm scared of being alone with my own thoughts and I'm a little concerned. So I worked it out that I must listen to around 5,000 minutes of music per month, which is around 166 minutes per day, which is almost 3 hours per day. It might actually be more than that, but I'd say on average I listen to 3 hours of music per day. Is that bad? Let me know in the comments if that's bad or not. Anyway, first up we have my top songs. So these are the songs I've listened to most this year, and the first one, I probably should be embarrassed about this, but I'm kind of just not. It's Gay Fish, the song from the Fish Sticks episode of South Park, but it's obviously the live version from the 25th anniversary concert, which happened at the end of last year. Something a lot of you may not know about me is that I absolutely love South Park. There was Kenny, here is a Stan Funko Pop. You're currently balanced on a Kyle Funko Pop. Yeah, I absolutely love South Park. So I listened to the live 25th anniversary album a lot since it came out, and Gay Fish has made it to the top of my list. I really didn't think I'd listen to it that many times. I mean, it is a very, very catchy song. It's fair enough, but it's just funny that I've listened to it like way more than all of my other songs, like 225 times. The next one I absolutely knew would be here because I'm completely obsessed with it and I know that I can't stop listening to it, and it is Echolalia by Yves Tumor. So I listened to it 207 times, which I think is pretty good going considering the album only came out in March. But yeah, Echolalia is probably my favourite song that's been released this year. I absolutely love it. Next up is Kelly Time by Owl City with 116 plays. Owl City will definitely be a recurring figure here and in all of these kinds of videos that I do, but especially this year because he released a very, very, very good album this year that I have been absolutely loving. And to further that point, my fourth most listened to song this year is Adam Check Please by Owl City, which needs no explanation, just a great song. And finally, my fifth most played song with 85 plays is Meteora Blues by Yves Tumor again. Another one from his fantastic new album that I highly recommend you all go and listen to because it's absolutely great. But here are my 5 most listened to songs so far this year. Gay Fish is the only real surprise, although I definitely shouldn't be surprised. You'll definitely be seeing a lot of Yves Tumor and Owl City because they released 2 of my favourite albums this year, both within a week of each other actually. And next up we have my most listened to artists, which I'm sure you'll be able to guess now. In first place, we have my boy, my baby, Owl City with 4,105 minutes. I do wish they would do this in hours because I feel like I can't really make sense of thousands of minutes. Like I'd rather have it in hours and then I can quantify it in terms of like each day a little bit better. Apple Music, if you're watching, you know. But anyway, Owl City is always in my top artists somewhere every year for the past 15 years probably. But it is nice to see him taking the top spot, and I don't know that he will keep it before the end of the year is up. You'll all have to watch that video to see. Next up, shock horror, is Yves Tumor coming in at 3,523 minutes. Yves is so underrated in my opinion. I literally never ever hear anyone talk about him, and he is such a unique and creative and experimental, but the songs are still so catchy. He's got this perfect balance between avant-garde, experimental and accessible and catchy, and no one else is doing that. Third place, of course, is 9 Inch Nails, my all-time favourite band, as you probably know, so they're always going to be somewhere on here, and I can't really say much more than I love them with all my heart and they will always be on here in some form. Next up in fourth place is Metallica with 2,349 minutes. No shock there. I've been listening to a lot of Metallica this year in preparation for seeing them twice at Download Festival, which I did. I've done a whole video, so go and check that out. But it was like a dream come true. They were fantastic. And my fifth most listened to artist is Greta Van Fleet. I actually thought they'd be higher because I've been listening to them a lot this year. I love them so much, and I definitely think we'll be seeing them at a higher position come the end of the year because they have a new album coming out, and I've loved all the singles so much. I really think I'm gonna absolutely love this album. So there is my 5 most listened to artists so far this year. I'm interested to see how this will change because for the past 2 years, my cat's just coming in. The past 2 years, my most listened to artist has been Porcupine Tree for 2 years straight, so they're not even in the top 5 this year, which is crazy. And the next category is albums, which I always find to be a bit rogue. Like, I don't really get this category. I feel like this is where the most random things can crop up. So let's take a look. I think we can probably all predict what first place is going to be from how this video is going. And of course, it's the new Eve Tumor album, which I've listened to 613 times. That is genuinely out of this world because it only came out towards the end of March. That would equate to me listening to it more than 3 times a day, every day since it came out. And I actually really have no words for that, so let's just move on. Again, very predictable. Number 2 is Coco Moon by Owl City with 377 plays. And I've kind of said my piece on this album. I think it's great. And I just think it's a fun, sentimental, beautifully produced album. Next up is This Is Why by Paramore, which is also an album that came out earlier this year, and in my opinion an absolutely excellent album. Every song is top tier. This album is actually a little bit too short. I wish there was more songs, so definitely not surprised to see it here. I saw Paramore live back in April actually, and all of the new songs were the highlight of the set. They all just worked so well in a live setting, and it was beautiful. I honestly think they're at their best right now, and I know that might be controversial, but I really do. And speaking of seeing Paramore live, one of the support acts for Paramore was this lovely lady, Rosie Plain, who I fell in love with, hence why her album Prize is on this list. I definitely don't feel like I've listened to it 96 times, but maybe I have, I don't know. It's a kind of very slow, very sad, kind of easy listening album. It has a strange vibe to it, to be honest, but I like it. And finally, a really random and rogue choice. I told you this category is always weird, but Cracker Island by Gorillaz is on here. And that also came out this year, and I have been jamming to it. It has a great mix of songs. It's very like fun and experimental. I definitely don't think I've listened to it that much. I don't love it, but I like it. The title track is definitely the best song on the album, in my opinion. I think the album gets weaker as it goes on. I love the like starting 5 songs, but it's a good album. I don't think it'll be here come the end of the year, but it's a good album. And there we have it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments down there what you have been listening to and what you think your album of the year for this year is going to be. As I said, I think mine is going to be the Eve Tumor album, unless this Greta Van Fleet album blows it out of the water. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys very soon for another video.